Okay, Angel.
Okay, Carson.
Angel Phillips. Guys, welcome back to Wedding Venue's official YouTube channel. So glad you're here. Today we're talking about the certain things that you should do right after you get engaged. If you're watching this, you're probably engaged. Congratulations. And today I have Angel Phillips with Roots and Wings Weddings. Incredible wedding planner, coordinator, and florist. She's been a planner for over 10 years now and a florist for over 20 years now.
That's a true story.
That's incredible. And we're actually filming right here in your floral shop right now. In Raglan, good old Raglan, Alabama. How you feeling today, Angel?
I'm great. How are you, Carson?
Doing good, doing good. Okay, guys, we do want to talk about the 5 things that you should do right after you get engaged. First and foremost, engagement season is so much fun.
Absolutely.
I've been married 4 years. How long have you been married to Bird?
24.
24 years?
Yes.
Wow, y'all almost at 25.
Almost.
Y'all gonna have to do something big.
Big. Yes.
Go somewhere.
That's
Go
right.
somewhere, do something crazy.
Where it's warm.
Where it's warm.
Yes.
She hates the cold, you know.
Absolutely.
But we're filming right now in the winter. In the winter time, I don't know when you guys are going to see this video, but it's cold right now, and you hate the cold.
Hate being cold.
But in the wintertime, it is engagement season. It's the quote-unquote engagement season, we call it in the wedding industry. And I've been a DJ and videographer. I've been in the wedding industry just for over 10 years now. Excited to talk about weddings with you, Angel. There's going to be 2 different videos we're doing. One, this is all about engagements, and then we're doing another one on budgeting. People want to know numbers, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be great. Okay, so engagement season can be overwhelming.
Very much so.
Very much so. And I don't know what it was like for you 24 years ago, but for me, getting married 4 years ago, we got engaged in November, and we got married in May.
Wow.
So 6 months. It can be done.
Absolutely can be.
Can it be done?
It can be done.
We got married at Applewood Farms in Phillips, and it was a Friday night wedding, by the way. But okay, 5 different things. First thing is celebrate the moment. Tell us about this,
Absolutely.
Angel. What do you think?
I think you should celebrate because then it gets crazy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that we have to slow down, and before we go into wedding mode, some people are actually booking their venues before they're even engaged.
They are.
Talk
Which is
about
crazy.
that. Have you heard about that?
I have heard about that.
Do you see that happening a lot?
I do.
Okay.
And I also see.
Do you recommend that?
No.
Okay. Why's that?
I just don't.
Okay.
I think that we're getting ahead of life, fast pace, and I think sometimes we just need to slow down and enjoy the moment.
Absolutely.
And I think when you're starting to book vendors and venues before you're even engaged, then that's just even more pressure. I think we just need to slow down and enjoy it and then take things one step at a time.
That's good. That's good stuff. So that's the first thing. Enjoy the moment. And okay, now when we say slow down and enjoy the moment, let's talk about the actual practicalities of the timelines. Now, so we did a 6-month engagement. What do you recommend people? How long of engagement should they have? Like, is there a recommended range that you recommend for having?
I have planned weddings for 18-month engagement, and that's fine. I mean, it is. I mean, people, I guess you can look at it 2 ways, and we'll talk about budgeting later. But if you do get engaged and you don't have quite as big budget, or you want a bigger budget, but you need to be able to space those payments out, then a longer engagement is good. I mean, you could look at it either way, Carson. You really could.
Okay.
And
That's
so.
good. That's good. See, we made it work in 6 months. I don't know if I guess 8 months is the sweet spot. 8, 9, 10 months.
It is.
Sweet spot.
I
Okay.
think a year is a really good. 14 months, 12 to 14 months is really a good time to.
And why is that?
Why? Budget's the biggest. 2, you're not rushed.
Right.
You know, you do get to enjoy being engaged a little bit longer. You get to have those engagement parties, those more wedding parties. I'm seeing more and more where showers are less and it's more parties, more couple parties or showers instead of just the bridal teas and stuff. You do have longer to enjoy that. And it really does help with your budget to spread those payments out over a longer period of time instead of coming up with $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 in a 6-month period.
Right. And if you're very particular on that certain venue or photographer or planner even or florist, the earlier the better, right?
Yes.
Earlier the better.
I mean, when you get engaged, of course, enjoy that time. Let your family and friends know, and then it's time to start booking your vendors.
Yes.
Especially for prom seasons.
So good. Okay, number 2, and we're going to have a whole video on this, but it's the wedding budget. Before you do anything else to plan your wedding, and it's your engagement season, you have to come up with a budget. We're going to do a whole video on this, but What should they first and foremost think about when they think about budget?
Who's paying?
Who's paying for this thing?
Yep. Is it the couple? Is it the bride's parents? Is it the groom's parents? Is it a mixture of all the above? Who's paying?
What do you see typical in Alabama weddings right now, Angel? Who's paying for what these days?
Carson, it's all over the place.
Okay.
I mean, it really is.
That's good to know.
I'm not seeing just the bride's parents paying. I mean, that happens, but the term "it takes a village," it's really, really what I'm seeing more and more with weddings. It's like everybody's coming together and paying for these things.
That's good. That's good. So you're talking about the bride's parents, the groom's
Yes.
parents, and even some of the couple all contributing.
Absolutely. The couple contributes a lot these days.
What's the dynamics of that? Like, what's the percentage that you see play out hypothetically, or maybe some actual examples?
Most of my weddings booked next year. The bride's parents, I'm going to say, is paying for 60% of the wedding, and then they're telling the couple, "You're responsible." Just say they say, "I'm giving you $25,000. If you spend 50, then it's up to you, his parents, or whomever. But this is what we're giving, and that's that." And
Okay.
so it just really depends on every couple. But there is a lot of brides' parents that are like, things are just getting so expensive that this is all we can give. And if you want to make it happen with that, great. If not, then here we are.
Do you feel like most parents are absolutely in disbelief when they hear the prices of weddings?
100%.
Is it almost all the time for you? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's, yeah.
And is it justified, or do they just kind of accept it and move on? Like, do they fully realize why it costs so much?
I think most do. I mean, I think it's a sticker shock to begin with, but we just had to have this conversation. A loaf of bread was not the same thing it was 5 years ago.
Right.
Things go up, and it just costs more
Absolutely.
to have weddings these days.
Absolutely. So stick around for another video on budgeting. We're going to keep going on to the third thing. That's the big thing. Who's paying for what? What's your floor? Because if you don't have a number in mind, like, hey, $20,000, $15,000, $50,000, $100,000, if you don't have just some kind of cap on it, and that's a good point, actually, Angel. I didn't think about that. Like, if the bride's parents say they only have, and I say only have, like, this is a lot of money, but $20,000, but yet they want to have a wedding that is catered to the $40,000 or $50,000 wedding day. Yeah, someone's gonna have to pitch in somewhere,
Absolutely.
you know. And I know we pitched in a little bit in our wedding, and we did more of a lower budget wedding. We did 4 years ago, and I'll share those numbers in the next video. But anyway, yeah, and it's a big range. We're gonna move on to the next thing, but for budget wise, even if it's a low tier budget wedding in Alabama, or it's a luxury style, I mean, you could go anywhere from $10,000 to $80,000. But and beyond.
And beyond.
But it's totally up to you, and there's no judgment. People get fidgety when you talk about numbers and budget and how much people are spending. People get judgmental, and woo, it gets crazy. Okay, number 3 thing that you should do right after you get engaged. First thing, celebrate. Second thing, set a budget. Third thing is set your top priorities as a couple. How important is this, Angel?
Very important.
Do you feel like some brides and grooms too, and parents don't prioritize things? Do you ever see that become a problem when they don't
Yes.
have priorities?
I do.
Do you have any
It starts
examples?
messing with my budget.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll just say $25,000 wedding. We're just going to use that. And florals is their most important. We're just going to say florals is their most important. Well, I mean, florals can range from very, very minimum florals at $1,500 to $20,000. I mean, it just depends on what they want. Well, if we only have a $25,000 budget and we've already spent on DJ and catering, and so where are we going to get these luxury florals if we didn't prioritize? And that's one of the first things I ask my couples when they get married is, what's your number one priority? What's your top vendor that means more to you than anything?
Yes.
And they're like, why are you asking me this question? Well, because I want to make sure that's the first vendor we hire and we see approximately what that's going to cost us, so then the rest of the budget can just fall as it needs to be.
100%. What are people prioritizing these days? Like when people, you're actively planning with people all the time for 2026, even going into 2027, eventually, what are brides, what are couples prioritizing right now more than anything in Alabama? That you're
Over
seeing?
venue, because venue is usually
That's right.
Other than venue, photography or florals.
Okay. Photography and florals. And of course, you are a little bit biased because you are a florist.
That's a true story. It is a true story.
So when people come, I mean, it is a great package deal because you do decor, you do florals, and you do planning for the day.
Correct.
Which is awesome, which is why you should book with Angel. But anyway, very cool. Okay. But if you don't start with your priorities, you can't always have everything. You might think, and your parents especially might think, that $20,000 it will be able to give you the world for a wedding day. But unfortunately, you can't have it all.
Not today.
For
not in today's
2025,
world.
not in today's world. You do have to prioritize what's absolute most important. And I've always thought that photography is really important. And I know we prioritized photography. We spent, I forget what we spent 4 years ago. It was in the $2,000 range, which is actually a pretty good deal. And nowadays, so I mean, for us, we were going to at least book a photographer that was $2,000 or $3,000 because that was a really big priority for us. You could take a chance on vendors who are just starting out, who are responsible and good and trustworthy and things that you know. But anyway, that's a whole other video. But set your priorities and book that first and foremost and get quotes on that. Like I said, the venue is very important because as a DJ myself, if you don't have a date, I can't agree to you. Now, every now and then, someone might come to you, Angel, and say, "Hey, Angel, I'm thinking about September. What dates do you have available?" And those are great clients to have because you're like,
absolutely.
So if you have someone that you really love, like really love Angel or really love whoever, talk with them. What's your schedule like in this month? And let me try to schedule my wedding around your schedule because you are my top priority. For one, it'll flatter them because, hey, as wedding vendors, we love when the client's like, "We love you and we want you to be a part of the day. What's your availability?" That's like the ideal client.
100%.
But if you've already booked your venue and you've done these other things, then you have to kind of cater to those vendors' schedules after that. So it gets a little dicey. So top priority, we do say top priorities. What are your top priorities? Because there are multiple things, but really just pick your very top priority if you can. Like, I need this, and I will go ahead and butt in here too. We got 2 more things to cover real quick, but a big priority that I would suggest is your wedding planner. And I'm not just saying this because we have a wedding planner on the video right now, but this is why. And a local one too, by the way. I feel like we should all know that. You should get a local wedding planner because they know the area, they know the vendors all around here. And if you tell them what you're prioritizing with your budget in mind, they're going to be like, "Oh, you need so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so because this, and this." And Angel has, I know a lot of planners do this too, a vendor list, and they have multiple vendors in multiple categories. And it's not like, listen, there's a lot of vendors out there, so you don't have to be pigeonholed to this, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. You don't even have to be stuck on this one perspective. You can talk with your planner. So I would argue that you need to book your planner as one of the first ones. What do you think?
I'm not disagreeing, but sometimes that's the last vendor that's booked. And it's crazy, like a day of coordinator, which I don't agree with day of coordinating. I cannot come into your wedding the day of and do my job and give you 150% walking in day of.
Tell us why.
Why? Because I don't know anything. I don't know who your vendors. I don't know you. I want to know who you are before I walk in to make your day best day ever.
That's good.
I want to have a personal relationship with my couples. I want to know who they are, their likes, their dislikes, everything I possibly can know about them. So when I come in, I know how to make their day all about them and
That's
not
great.
about bride 3 weeks ago or bride 3 weeks from now.
That's good, Angel. That's good. Do you think people are actually saving that money that they want to save when they just do a day of coordinator?
No, I mean, I don't per se, I do full blown wedding planning. I mean, I do partial wedding planning and coordinating. But either way, when you hire me, I'm yours. I'm not going to say, well, your contract says you only have me 3 months before. And so you don't have your DJ hired or you don't have this hired. If you're going to ask me a question, then ask it, because the more I'm involved with your day, whether it's mostly planning and booking all your vendors for you, or you've got your vendors booked, but you just want my opinion, the more I know about your day, the more I can come in and execute the day with less stress on me and you.
Come on.
Because that's just my job. That's my goal, is you stress about nothing the day of. That should be every planner's and coordinator's job.
I love that.
To come in and you worry about nothing but walking down that aisle and having the best day ever.
I love that. And there's a big difference between the venue manager and the actual wedding planner.
I hear
Whole
so many
other video.
brides say, well, the venue has a coordinator, and those are great. They're great. I love going to a venue that has a coordinator.
Yeah.
But those coordinators, they may direct you, and that's another brides, couples, people in general think a wedding director and a wedding coordinator, they're two different things, Carson.
Yes.
Someone can get you down the aisle. They can direct you down the aisle, but there's a whole difference in being there from the time it starts until the time it ends and everything in between. And venue coordinators are good, but they're not going to take care of you like a wedding planner or coordinator, unless that's their only job is to take care of you, not just the venue, because their number one job is 90% of the time is to look after the venue. Now, I do work with a few venues where You Got Married is one of them. There's a couple other that they do take the couple's wants and needs in perspective. So it's not every venue, but I'm going to say 90% of the venues is not the same as having a full-blown coordinator who's there for your every want and need.
Totally. And I'll butt in here too. As a wedding DJ, and I do videography as well, I have a questionnaire, lots of questions so that we can fill out the contract, the invoice and things. And I'll ask, who the coordinator is. And I've started to put in parentheses, not you and not a family member and not anyone in the bridal party. The amount of times that I used to, but now I said this little thing so they can't do that. And then if they do, they have to be like, well, we don't really have anyone to specify this. But it can't, the planner, how do I say this? Just because your mom has planned your older sister's wedding 5 years ago on her own and it worked out, but then your wedding is actually a little more higher scale and you have a lot more needs, your mom might not be able to handle all that and execute it on the day of. Like, the mother of the bride does not need to be executing things, but how many times do we see this happen?
That's why I started coordinating. Because I was a florist, and I was going and dropping flowers off, and I see the mom trying to set up and take care of vendors and not getting to enjoy the day with her daughter. And as much money as weddings cost, she shouldn't have to be doing that. And I was staying, helping set up and doing it. And Bird's like, what are you doing? I mean, I directed a wedding in sweatpants and a sweatshirt because the mom of the bride freaked out, and she's like, what am I going to do? And so I'm telling people to go down the aisle in sweatshirt and sweatpants from setting up flowers. And my husband's like, if you're going to do it, then let's do it.
There you go.
And so I stepped out, and well, here we are.
The rest is history.
Here we are.
Yeah, no, it's very crucial to actually get a wedding planner who has experience too. I don't want to get caught up on this point, but like someone who has seen not just 5 weddings, but have seen like 50 weddings, 100 weddings, 200 weddings, 300 weddings. When you've seen so many things, different situations go wrong, and there's still new things that go wrong.
The tornado, Carson.
The tornado.
I mean, our tents were in the Coosa River.
You made it on James Spann's stage.
We did. I hope that never happens again, but I mean, we had to readjust and make it happen.
Yes, and a good planner is going to anticipate some of those things too. Like y'all, I'm sure you nailed down those tents. You had it everything. But when an F4 tornado or whatever comes through and these 100-mile-an-hour winds come through, I mean, you can't totally predict that.
No.
And I mean, anyway, when you have a good planner, they're going to know how to facilitate when things go wrong, how to take your stress. And I know I've seen you on wedding days. You take the stress. You engulf the stress. I know, and people have talked about how you're militant, but someone, and I have to say this too, someone has to be the quote unquote bad cop sometimes to get things done. And I'm a videographer. Sometimes I'll go around with the photographer. I love it when a photographer is organized and like more aggressive, not mean or rude, but very confident. I like a good confident photographer because they got to keep things moving earlier in the day. And the planner's not going to be holding your hand at 8, 9, 10 a.m. a lot of times. Like, they're facilitating these things, but the makeup artist, hair and makeup, and photographer and everyone, they have to also do their own job. And as a DJ, you have to do your own job, keeping the flow, the reception. The planner shouldn't be behind the DJ booth the whole time. But anyway, all these things, a planner is going to know full picture part of the day. So my suggestion to you guys is find a good planner that can help you from the beginning. It's going to save you a lot of time and effort, money. Now, if money's not an issue, definitely hire a good planner because they're going to save you a ton of time. Like, Hey, if you want something, if you got the money, you can get something done fast,
True story.
and good. If you have the right amount of money, you can get someone who can find those vendors for you and fast and book them, secure them, and you're resting easy, Okay, fourth thing, establish a guest count range. Why is this important to know how many people are coming to your wedding right off the bat?
Well, the size of your venue.
Yes.
Is number one.
Yes.
Number two, it affects your budget.
Absolutely.
I mean, it affects it with catering. It affects it with your cake. It affects it with your florals and decor, your tablescapes, if you do place settings. So if you think you might have 50 guests and we start your budget and then 6 months later, oh, Angel, we have 150 guests. Well, we just blew the budget out the door.
Do you see that actually happen?
I do.
Oh, man.
I had a wedding not too long ago that, yeah.
Does it normally start with a lower count and then raise, or does it ever go like we're having 200, now we're having 100? Does it ever get lower?
Most of the time, it's lower than higher.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Okay.
It has a few times higher than lower, but most of the time, people will be like, well, probably 100, and then they start sitting down with each family, and then you've got friends, and then, oh, okay, Angel, we're at 250.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's very important to start that guest list early on.
And what's your suggestion to couples that are inviting their guests and family to their weddings? Do you have any advice for them?
Just don't invite somebody you knew in kindergarten and that you haven't seen them since.
Yeah.
There's just no need.
Absolutely.
It's your most special day of your life other than the day you're saved and the day your children are born. It's the best day of your life. And it should only be shared with people that really, really mean a lot to you and your families.
That's good.
It should be, you may have 300 people that you're very intimate with and that you love very much, but it shouldn't just be the person you met at Walmart last week.
Right.
True story.
Right. Or even just obligated church friends of
No.
your parents or anyone.
Because it adds up quick.
Tell me a little bit about the dynamic now when we're talking about guest count here. This does get a little dicey. If the mother of the bride or groom, whoever, if they're paying for a big portion of the wedding, sometimes they feel like they have to say so more than anything. Can you talk about that a little bit when sometimes the mother can kind of overshadow the bride? Do you ever see that
It does happen a lot. It does. And I see both sides. I really do.
Because you are a mother yourself.
I am.
You have
And
kids.
there are certain friends that my kids may not be really close to, but that I am, and that I think their feelings would be hurt if they weren't invited. That's a touchy subject, and it is hard, especially when the bride's parents are brunting most of the budget. It really is. I say that to the brides, be kind and consider your mom's feelings. I do. They spent a lot of years raising you and want this to be your best day ever. But also to the moms, because sometimes we moms can be overbearing and difficult and want our way. But also take the bride's feelings and the couple's feelings into consideration. And instead of just being angry about it and saying, no, this hasn't happened, really sit down and have a talk with the couple. But if it's your daughter or your son, say, okay, I know we're on a budget and Dad and I are paying for most of this. And this is who my top people are, and I really would like you guys to consider it, and then have the couple talk about it too, and just really talk about it instead of having a heated upset, because that's not what the wedding's about. It's supposed to be a celebration, but when you start talking money, it can get,
Yes.
people can get upset, and
and I see that a lot. Being a DJ is we get going in the night. It's a great time of the reception, and then maybe the mother or the father comes up and says, hey, like we're heavy into rap, for example, and they're having a great time. There's like 50 people on the dance floor, and then grandparents and older people on the outskirts by that point. And then they're like, hey, we really need to cut this off. We need to get some oldies. And some of them that you've planned too. And I was like, okay. I said, I have to tell them, I said, hey, like they're really going. I said, if you can give me 20 or 30 minutes, and some of them are like, no, I paid you and I want you to do this right now,
And at that point, I think that's a little disrespectful. I do, Carson. I do. Especially if the night is going and the young people are really having a good time. But it does happen. I've seen it happen. I've even seen it have them come up to me and be like, hey, how about this? And I was like, well, we went over the list with the couple. They've talked to the DJ. We've gone through all of that. He knows what music they really want. So I try to put it back. This is what the couple wanted. But it happens. It does.
Yeah. Okay, fifth and final thing, choose your season and start touring venues. What do you say about this?
Don't get married in the cold. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yes,
I layer up. But for real, in the state of Alabama, we have to really think about weather a lot.
Absolutely.
We really do. And hopefully we never have a year like we have with the rain. I think for 3 months straight, every wedding we had was in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure you have a venue that can do a flip, or the space that we don't have to do a flip and everything can be inside.
Right.
If we have rain, tornadoes, or the coldness. So if not, then you're going to need to be prepared to rent a tent, which can run you up into the thousands of dollars.
For sure.
And rent heaters if it's in the winter, and even in Alabama with the rain, if there's wind blowing, the tent's not guaranteed to keep you dry. So you really need to think about those things when you book your venue. And there's some amazing venues in the state that we both have worked at that you don't have to do a flip at all, or that their team is willing to do the flip and make it happen for you. So
that's great.
That's just something we need to think about.
And we say choose your season because some people have like this particular weekend is the only weekend that works. Well, you need a little more flexibility there.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a particular vendor or venue specifically. And we have this Wedding Venues official YouTube account to help you in deciding which venues you have. We have over 10 venue tours. There's like a bug flying around
there
here.
There sure is. It's a little gnat.
They like the lights around here. Anyway, we do have this page to help you with choosing your venue. So definitely see some past videos. We have over 10 videos now, full cinematic walkthrough tours, like never before videos of these venues around Birmingham and east of Birmingham area where you can check it out. I mean, great venues, great options, and usually venues that are in the anywhere from like $5,000 to $15,000 range, wouldn't you say, for booking? Depends on if you're staying overnight and how long during the day you have it and everything. But there's great venues here, right here in Alabama, especially Birmingham area, especially out in the country.
Yes.
There's just a lot of good options out there, so definitely check those out. I hope this has been beneficial. Again, the 5 things: celebrate the moment, enjoy the moment. Second thing, wedding budget, set your top priorities, establish a guest count, choose your season, start touring venues. This page can help you out with touring some of those venues before you even decide where to go in person. You can check out some of these tours. Another thing too, I'm just going to add this too. This is just a little in the moment, is I'm sure we're all disappointed too with like the divorce rate. If you start researching, the divorce rate is insane. So the fact you've been married 24 years is amazing, by the way. Incredible. And we all, we want to be married for 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 60 years. We want a lifetime together. So congrats if you're engaged, and also prioritize your marriage. We're talking about the wedding day because that's what we do. We do wedding days all the time. But we'd also recommend counseling, premarital counseling.
Absolutely.
And by the way, just because you're engaged doesn't mean you have to get married. I mean, anyway, so if you get engaged and you feel like you need to back out for whatever reason, Holy Spirit's leading you there, I feel like you can always do that too. But premarital counseling is very important as well. So actually, I'm going to add that in as the 6th thing. You should do some premarital counseling before you get going, and knowing that there's just a lot of dynamics that go on with wedding planning between your in-laws, and you just kind of have to work together. You have to learn to communicate.
Absolutely.
So happy engagement season. Any final words from you, Angel?
I don't think so, but thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for being a part. Definitely feel free to comment if you have any questions. Again, congrats on your engagement. We're going to talk more about wedding budget in the next video. So I'll see you guys there.